Save up to $50 at crimsontrace.com. Laser sighting systems from Crimson Trace will make you a more accurate and confident shooter. No personal protection firearm is fully equipped without a laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Visit crimsontrace.com November 29th through December 25th and save up to $50 on the one tool no personal protection firearm should be without: a Crimson Trace laser sight. Save up to $50 now through Christmas Day at crimsontrace.com.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of gun talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Oh, we're talking about so many things today. Guns and ammo and optics and lasers and buying a gun for Christmas. Do you have a gun on your holiday wish list? I'm not sure if I'm going to get one, but I found a couple recently that I kind of hankering to get. 28 gauge. Well, in fact, we actually had a caller earlier asking about 28 gauges. 28 gauge side-by-side. I have always wanted one. Actually, I bought one, a nice side-by-side 28 gauge some years ago, and then stupidly let it go. Add it to the list. I'd like to get another at some point. Anyway, but there are a lot of ways to go about getting guns. Obviously, you can go to your local dealer, and your local dealer may have a good selection of used and new guns, and it's always fun to support them. If you aren't finding what you like there, you can go online and still have your gun, buy a gun, and have it shipped through your local dealer. For those who don't know, yes, you can buy a gun online. You do need to have it shipped to a local dealer, and you will have the background check done when that happens that way. So you're not getting around the background checks. Now, but the question becomes, what do you do if you want to sell guns? Say you have a few guns or a bunch of guns or maybe only one gun, and you don't want to go through the process of letting people know where you are, et cetera, et cetera. Well, about a week ago or so, sometime in the last week, I had a chance to talk with our buddy Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns about exactly that. Well, here's that conversation. I get like probably 3 questions all the time. One is, what gun should I get for self-defense? I can't tell you the answer to that, but we can work it out together. The second one is, what gun should I buy for my wife for self-defense? That one's easy. You don't get to buy your wife a gun for self-defense. You help her with the process by getting her some training, but you let her buy the gun. And the third one I get all the time is, I've got some guns, or I've got some guns for my father or my grandfather, and I want to sell them, but I don't know how to start. I don't know who to trust. I don't know how to go about it. That part, this is what I can actually answer for you. And we're going to bring in our good friend Johnny Dury right now because he's the go-to guy. In fact, he was my go-to guy on this. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
I'm very well, Tom. How are you?
Well, excellent. When I say you were my go-to guy, I'm not kidding. When my dad died and we had his gun collection, I gave you a call and you drove over. You came and looked at them. And we actually communicated before that. And you said, look, based on those guns, this is what the price is. This is the fair price. This is what I pay for them, with allowing for adjustment, because when you get there, you got to make sure they are as represented, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so and that worked very well for me. But in fact, I got to admit, right before we started talking, you and I were talking off mic here, and I said, hey, I got some more I got to do that with because I sold some guns. But look, here's my situation, Johnny, and I got to think I'm not atypical. I've got a couple of safes of guns, and I'm probably using a half a safe's worth. The rest of them just sit all the time. And it doesn't seem like that makes sense. I can't be the only one that's in this situation.
No, you're not. We have, with all of the turmoil that's been going in Washington and all of the big people having fears that they're going to take our guns away, the guns have really stacked up in the people's safes, and now it's getting to a time where their safes are overfilling. And what we're trying to push out there is, hey, the used guns are hard to come by now. There's still a huge demand for them, so now can be a perfect time to sell some of those guns and get rid of 2 safes worth of guns and upgrade to some stuff that you may not ever bought for yourself before because it was too expensive or you thought it was too nice. And now what the sentiment seems to be is we're having people getting rid of those and upgrading to some really nice guns that they can be proud of. And so that's kind of what we're seeing in the market out there, that the guns that are coming out there is people trying to get some nicer stuff, and I think that's a great way to do it.
Well, now, your store is located in San Antonio, but you're not limiting your search for guns just in San Antonio or Texas, right?
No, we're not doing that, Tom. We can travel anywhere basically the next day or two. If there's somebody that has a gun collection for sale, we have the ability to go to them, make the deal, and take the guns just within a couple of days of it. So there's really no gun collection that is too large for us. And, you know, besides just some last-minute travel details, we can for sure be just about anywhere in the country within a week, sometimes the next day or the day after that.
Okay. Well, you know, I mean, and I'm sitting here listening to you, and that's kind of what I'm thinking is not, I don't want to think of it in terms of selling guns, because you know how it is. I mean, you've got all this experience with running a gun store. People say, well, I just don't sell guns. I never get rid of guns. And you go, well, wait a minute. What about an upgrade path? Because you've got purchasing power in your safe. And if you've got guns you're not using, why not sell, trade, however you want to think of it, get rid of those and say, these are some better guns I actually never thought I was going to be able to buy, but if I convert the ones I'm not using into cash, I can buy those guns.
That's exactly right, because if you go and sell the guns, that money will just go away. You'll take Mama to dinner on it, or something will come up and you'll blow a tire on the car or something. That money all of a sudden just goes away. But if you take those guns and upgrade to it and use that money for that, you really will be happier 6 months down the road and have a much bigger sense of pride on having some guns in your safe that are really something to speak about and be proud about, instead of having just a bunch of just mediocre guns you never touch.
Well, I know that you'll pay cash for the guns. Will you also do trades, because you got a big inventory?
Absolutely. We'll do trades. We'll pay cash for them, just whatever fits best. If you are going to be upgrading your guns, one of the big benefits of the trading is you save the sales tax. That thing goes in as a trade, and then there's no sales tax issues except on the difference of the two. So that's an easy way to make 8.25% on your money, is doing it in a trade situation.
How do you come up with a value? What do you do? I mean, you're looking at all these guns, and people are saying, what's it worth? I mean, that's what they got to ask you that all the time. What's it worth?
The common ones are easy, Tom. You see a bunch of them, so you just know what the market is on them. But there are some great references out there. If we get a gun that's harder, we don't see enough of to try to get the value. You always go to the Blue Book of Gun Values first with it, and look at the condition and look at the prices in there. On certain guns, they don't sell enough of them to where the Blue Book catches up on them. And there are some advanced search features on Gunbroker that can show completed sales, where you can see real dollar sales that really happened in the last 1 year's time period. It'll actually just go back further than that. But we can see what they're actually doing, just like what the car dealer auctions do. Gunbroker has that feature in their advanced search on completed items.
One of the things I was just thinking, I know people are thinking, well, I could sell those myself. And yeah, you can. But when one or two, you might be, that's okay. But if you got a dozen, or in some cases people have got 50 or 100 guns, number one, that's a lot to deal with. But number two, and this has always been my concern, is I'm not sure I want to advertise those locally and having people come to my house and knowing that I've got these guns here. I'm just not comfortable with that.
That's a big deal for people. They don't want to have to meet with other people and let them know what they have. The other deal that's a big concern with people is you sell a gun on at a gun show and it's totally legal, but you don't really know the person that went to. You sell the guns to us. The only way we can get it, we're bound by law. We have to run the background checks on them. So you can feel very safe on it that when we get rid of one of the guns, it's going to go to somebody that is legal to have it. You know, it gets tough when you start prying in other people's lives. Somebody, let's say they did come to your house and you say, well, I have to ask you some questions. Are you a convicted felon? Do you have crimes of misdemeanor domestic violence? And people are just not comfortable with that. So with selling them through us on them, we're going to pay a fair price on them, and we're going to make sure that those guns, if we're going to turn them, they're going to go to people who are law-abiding right people to have them.
Sure. When you turn around and sell the gun, it has to do the background check, the FBI check, the NICS check. All right, well, so the process is what? Somebody contacts, obviously you got your website, Dury's Guns, it's DURYS guns.com.
The other way, Tom, what we can do with it, if somebody has a collection that they need to talk about with me, they're sure welcome to call me on my cell phone, and that's 210-215-2295. And I'll be glad. I'll personally talk to them. I'll be the one that personally comes and sees their gun collection, and they're going to be dealing with me directly on it.
And then you say, okay, for this lot of guns, this is the price, but you also give them, this is how I came up with it. This is the price on each one. And they can say yes, no, or, you basically work from there, I guess.
What we do is we try to give them a real-world retail price on what the gun is worth. And then I give them two options. And the two options are we can buy the gun for this price, or we'll sell it for you on consignment at this price. And there's generally a 5 to 7% difference in those prices, and that's just the difference in using their money or my money on it. So some people say, I don't need the money, I want to get the very most out of it, and I don't care if it takes 4 or 5 months to sell them all. So for them, the consignment deal is a much better program for them. Some of them say, hey, I want to do some different things in it, so we'll give a trade value or a cash value. And our trade and cash is the same price. We don't give less if we're trading for it. It's the same money. We go from retail, and then we back it off from there. And generally, consignment stuff, depending on the price of the guns, is going to be 20 to 25%, and we'll generally buy them 25 to 30% off of retail. And that's just what it costs for us to do business. But it's still a way fair price. And the other deal is for what we can get for them compared to what they have to hassle with it, that 25%, 25% is not a very big deal for most people to not have to go through that hassle.
Well, that's what I decided. When I said, look, I do not want to hassle with this. I don't, and we had, more than 100 guns after Dad died, and I just don't want to do 100 different transactions, which means talking to 500 or 1,000 different people. I don't have the time for that.
Exactly, and most of the time, you couldn't get what we could get from retail there anyway. You have a very limited number of people that would be looking at them, so then you're going to get tired of doing it, and you're going to end up discounting the gun down. We're going to go off of a retail price that we say is a reasonable price that it would sell in about a 4-month time frame. And so that's kind of the reasonable deal. We don't have to have it fire saled, and we're not going to put a price on it that's going to take 4 years to sell it, though, either. Okay,
this is really not good, Johnny. While you're talking, I went to your website, and I just found a left-handed .416 Rigby. Mm-hmm. This is not good at all. Not good for me, because I shoot left-handed, man, and this thing is gorgeous. And
yeah, it's fabulous. And the thing that we can do, Tom, the other thing we can do before we travel there, we can do it very easily. You can just email some simple pictures with their smartphones. They can email them right to our website. We can take a look at the stuff that they have, and we can get them an idea before we have to travel and make sure everybody's on the same page on it. And, hey, if we look like we can get something done with them, we have no problem traveling within just days of talking to them on it. Or the other thing that we can do, Tom, when you have just a few guns with it, we'll send the shipping boxes up there. We'll pay all the shipping, all the stuff. We'll send the box with the packing material to their house for them to put the gun in to ship to us, so they don't have to do anything.
Well, and I guess the thing I would add, just because you and I have done business before, we'd run it on a handshake, and I would just say, people say, well, who could I trust? And I say, I always tell them, and I've sent lots of folks to you. I just said, look, call Johnny. This is a guy you can trust. This is a family business. They've been around a long time. They're going to be around a long time. You don't have to worry.
That's right. Yeah, we've been doing this since 1959, and we're going to tell you straight on it, and there's no reason for us to try to get over on anybody. Pay a fair price on it, and the people will keep coming back to you.
There it is. All right, it's DurysGuns.com. Give out that cell phone number again.
210-215-2295.
That'll work. Well, Johnny, I appreciate it. I'm going to take some pictures of some guns, and
we'll work you a trade on that left-hand 416.
Yeah, I know you will. All right. We'll see you at SHOT Show, man. All right, you take care. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back.
Professionals who depend on their weapon depend on Excess Sights, the leader in American-made gunfighter night sights for personal and home defense. One dot, one solution. See demonstration videos from top trainers and industry leaders at XSSights.com. Upgrade your carry gun, rifle, and tactical shotgun with Excess Sights. Contact Excess Sights at 888-744-4880 or visit XSSights.com. If you need a gun, you need Excess Sights.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
It's great to make something with your own hands. When you reload, the whole family can get involved, including breaking more targets and bagging more birds. Mech reloaders have been the center of family activities for generations. Plus, you can save money and stock up, even when there's nothing in the stores. 10, 12, 16, 20, 28, and 410. Any gauge. Get started reloading. Visit mechreloaders.com. That's MECreloaders.com.
The Ruger SR-45, a large caliber pistol with a trim, ergonomic profile. Like the popular Ruger SR-9 and SR-40, the SR-45 is perfectly sized to be comfortable and controllable with a slim, ergonomic grip and narrow slide. It features an adjustable 3-dot sight system, Ruger's unique reversible back strap, an ambidextrous manual safety and magazine release, and built-in Picatinny rail. The Ruger SR-45, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
What's that?
It's my Trijicon.
What's a Trijicon?
Only the best rifle scope in the world.
Says who?
How about the U.S. Marine Corps, Special Forces, Navy SEALs? You heard of these guys?
Sure.
Well, they're all using Trijicons.
Let me see it. Wow, this is really sharp.
And a lot of professional hunters are using Trijicon, too. You probably caught it on some TV and radio shows.
Yeah, I have heard some of them swear by their Trijicon.
I swear by it.
You know, I could have been a Navy SEAL.
Well, the closest you're going to get now is buying a Trijicon.
Hey.
Trijicon is the brand of rifle scopes that more and more hunters are swearing by. That's because every Trijicon is handcrafted using the finest optic materials. The bright aiming point can guarantee you a great hunt from dawn to dusk. Get your Trijicon at a dealer near you or visit them on the web at Trijicon.com. That's Trijicon.com. Trijicon. Brilliant aiming solutions.
An exciting breakthrough from Mossberg lets you customize your 500 pump-action shotgun in seconds. Get a better fit. Add features. Mossberg's Flex System lets you swap out stocks, fore ends, and recoil pads. Want a pistol grip? Got it. Longer or shorter stock? No problem. Go from hunting to tactical and home defense in seconds. From black to camo and back. Now available on the MVP bolt-action rifle. For details, visit FlexYourMossberg.com.
A famous radio consultant once said he'd be off the air in a year. Whoops! Defending your Second Amendment rights since 1995 on over 150 radio stations nationwide. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All righty, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in here. Let's see, Harlan's called us on line 3. He's out of Minnesota. Hello, Harlan. You're on Gun Talk. What's up?
Yes, you was talking about what rifle you'd like to, guns you'd like to see brought back.
Right.
And one I have one in a 22 Magnum. It's a Marlin Levermatic 22 Magnum, and they also chambered it in 22 rimfire and it had a box magazine or clip.
So it was a lever action with a box magazine.
Yeah, it has a one-piece stock, it did. They also brought it out later in, I don't know all the calibers, but they brought out a heavier duty one in, I think, 256 cartridge that wasn't a handgun, and 357 and so on. But for many years they had it in a 22 rimfire, and it had a clip, and I have one in the 22 Magnum, and also I don't know if I think Marlin must have made them, but they were also marketed under the name J.C. Higgins too.
Ah, yes, indeed. All right, well, we'll add that one to the list. J.C. Higgins. Now, there's the name from the past. Guns with the J.C. Higgins. All right, here's your question for the day. What was the retailer that sold J.C. Higgins firearms? Yeah, if you're as old as me, you probably know. What was the national retailer that sold J.C. Higgins firearms? 866-825-5486 will get you in here. Had an email. Somebody says, let's see. Christopher. Christopher says what he would like would be a Winchester model 1895, which is a good-sized lever action. They made a lot of them. And they were chambered in .30-06 as well as some other cartridges. They actually made a gazillion of them for the Russian army, believe it or not. But he would like to see a Winchester model 1895, but chambered for .35 Whelen. Yeah, I think you're right. You could hunt anything in North America with that. A lever action .35 Whelen. I like that. I've always thought that the Remington had a pump, 760 pump, in .35 Whelen. Made it for a short period of time. I don't think they're still doing it. But actually, I got to admit, I don't know. I haven't checked. But I always thought that would be a great elk gun. But thinking about that, that would be a great elk rig, model 1895. So just, a kind of a thought there. Also, I'll tell you a gun I don't have, but I've always thought it'd be nice to have it, and there's no reason not to have it because their company's making them right now. I don't know why I don't. Is a short carbine length lever action in a handgun caliber. Probably 357 Magnum, then I could shoot 38 specials. You could shoot really light load 350 or 38 specials in it, cowboy action type loads. You could also do it in a 44 Magnum, shoot 44 special ammo in it. That would just be fun. People say, what would you do with it? Probably just that. Take it to the range, shoot it, have some fun. I mean, why wouldn't you? Isn't that why we own most of our guns anyway? So what's on your list? You getting a gun for Christmas? Are you giving a gun for Christmas? And if you are, how are you going to go about it? How old is the person who is going to get it? And how old is old enough for somebody's first gun? That's something for us to think about this time of year.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, we have several questions on the floor at the moment. We're asking what guns would you like to see manufacturers make or bring back? Also, are you giving a gun to somebody or getting a gun for Christmas? Corollary to that is how old is old enough? How old were you when you got your first gun? How old is old enough for a youngster to get a first gun? And a couple other things going on. I did throw out the who made the J.C. Higgins line of fires, who sold them actually, not made them, but who sold them. And we'll get to a few calls about that. First of all, let's go with Anthony. He's on line 2 calling us out of Fresno, California. Anthony, talk to me about what you'd like to see made.
Well, I was thinking something that'd be good for home defense would be sort of a bullpup design in one of the handgun cartridges, 9mm, 40, 45. Sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Kel-Tec has not a bullpup, but a little carbine. High Point does. But it occurs to me, you can get an AR-15 with a short barrel that shoots 9mm. There are several manufacturers that make AR-15s, and you got like a 32-round magazine for 9mm. That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I don't know if that'd be California legal. So.
Oh, that's right. You're in the not free state of California. So.
Yeah, People's Republic of, I like to call it.
Yeah.
And
well,
as
you know
far
what?
As first gun purchase is concerned, well, My first was an old pre-war government model. I bought that in the late 90s.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd still have it, too, if somebody hadn't broke into the apartment I was living at the time and stole it.
Yeah, it's
I was planning on keeping that.
As it goes there. All right, well, so we got a vote for a short carbine, 9mm 40 or 45. And by the way, for the People's Republic of California, the approved firearm for home defense now is a rock and maybe a slingshot if it's registered.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thanks, Anthony. I appreciate that. Line 4, Bob's with us out of Chile, North Dakota. Hello, Bob.
People's Republic. Oh, I love it. How you doing, Tom? Love your show. Hey,
thank you.
You know, I got an answer to your question, I think. I'm going to take a wild guess on who sold that Higgins. I'm going to guess Montgomery Wards.
Monkey Wards, as we used to call them. Well, I tell you what, that's not it. But it's a good guess. Don't make another guess, though, okay? Because I got people lined up here. So we got one Monkey Wards, but Montgomery Wards did have a lot of firearms that they sold. I remember going to the Montgomery Wards and picking up stuff over there. So I appreciate it, Bob. Thank you for that. Let's try George in Anchorage, Alaska. He's on line 1. George, you got a thought on who made the J.C. Higgins?
Sears?
Sears is it. Absolutely. It was Sears that made the J.C. Higgins. Now, here's something I did not know. I was just looking him up. There actually was a man named Higgins, John Higgins. He was a Sears employee, and he was a vice president, and Sears just named this whole brand after him. He did not have a middle name. They just made up the C for him. So J.C. Higgins, and they were sold through Sears from 1908 until 1962. That tells you how old you and I are, man.
A few years before that.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, exactly right. Oh, and for those who don't know and weren't there, back then you could get your Sears catalog, and it had guns in it, and you could order a gun, send them a check in the mail, and they would U.S. mail your gun to your doorstep. And there was no such thing as a licensed firearm dealer. Your hardware store would sell guns and ammo. I remember gas stations that sold guns and ammo. No licenses needed. And, no problems either. So this whole background check, licensed gun stores, all that, just hogwash, window dressing. Security theater does nothing other than run the cost up on everything. So, hey, I appreciate that, George. Excellent job. Let's talk to Michael on 3. He's in Alabama. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
The question I've got is I'm trying to find a good firearm for my wife. She's got limited experience. Fixing to sign her up for a woman's class that she's going to take. She's had a Ruger LCP before and has also fired a Glock 19, a PPK. And the issues that she had, the one that she owned, the LCP, the issue that she had with that is she didn't really like the snappiness of it.
Right.
And
well, it's not a good starter gun.
The other concern that she has is the size and the weight. She doesn't want a very heavy pistol. And so I'm trying to come up with a kind of a range of firearms to be able to show her, because I'm limited in the types of firearms that I know also.
Right.
But I'm looking for a good range for her to hold them in her hand, possibly shoot some of them, and make a decision from there.
Now, do I see correctly you're in Lawrence, Alabama? Florence, Alabama. Okay. So Florence is in the southern part of the state, if I remember right.
Northwest corner in between Tennessee and right next to Tennessee and Mississippi.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure how far you are away, but in Gunnersville, Alabama, you got one of the best trainers in the United States, I think. Tiger McKee has a place called Shoot Right. And it's SHOOTRITE, shootright.org on the web. Very best thing you could do would be to get her a day with Tiger, one of the classes that he teaches. But any class is better than no class. Now, let's talk about guns for your wife. First of all, she needs to try some guns. Do not buy her a gun without her having a chance to try it. That would be a real mistake.
Exactly.
I know that everybody wants a small, light gun. That's generally a bad idea. Small, light guns are hard to shoot well. They recoil like crazy. Physics is always there. What she needs is probably not what she wants at this point. but she will want it after she has a chance to shoot it. And so I'm going to say that what she needs and will eventually want is a mid to compact size 9mm semi-auto. Along those lines, we're talking about something like a Ruger SR9C, the compact version, the Smith & Wesson M&P compact, the Springfield Armory XDM 3.8, in the slightly smaller versions, the Smith & Wesson Shield, the Springfield Armory XDS, but not the itty-bitty 380s. That's not what she needs and not what she wants, and it won't be fun to shoot, and she won't be able to hit the broadside of a barn with it, and it's just a bad way to go. I mean, a compact to mid-size 9mm is absolutely the way to go.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, and don't limit yourself to those manufacturers. There are other makers out there who make really fine guns. I just was giving you an example of that's kind of where, that's the sweet spot. Let me put it this way. Several years ago, I put my wife, my son, and my daughter-in-law through a class. I bought the class for them with Clint Smith, 3-day handgun class, and I bought them Smith & Wesson M&Ps for that class. And it could have just as easily been a Springfield Armory or one of the others, but it's a 9mm pistol, and it worked great. So it's not that I'm just pushing this. That's what I purchased for my family. So that's where I would go with it. I wish you luck with it. Thank you, Michael. I am sitting there yakking, and we're supposed to be going to a break here, so I'm going to do that. This happens every time. I get to talk about guns, and I get a little bit distracted. Yeah, go figure, right? 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham.
Save up to $50 at CrimsonTrace.com. Laser sighting systems from Crimson Trace will make you a more accurate and confident shooter. No personal protection firearm is fully equipped without a laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Visit CrimsonTrace.com November 29th through December 25th and save up to $50 on the one tool no personal protection firearm should be without. A Crimson Trace laser sight. Save up to $50 now through Christmas Day at CrimsonTrace.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to TimneyTriggers.com. That's TIMNEY Triggers.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Get a grip on your AR rifle. An Ergo grip. For maximum control, comfort, and accuracy, you need the grip that's ergonomically designed for the human hand. Ergo grips come on some of the best factory ARs. Now you can upgrade your own rifle with a great grip. At ErgoGrips.net, you'll also find accessories for your rifles and handguns. Shoot better, get comfortable. ErgoGrips.net. ERGOGrips.net.
Inaccurate is just plain worthless. Doesn't matter if you're shooting for a national championship or just trying to beat your friend. You need accurate ammo. Nosler's match-grade handgun ammunition delivers. You get Nosler sporting handgun and custom competition bullets in Nosler head-stamped brass, loaded to the same strict tolerances as Nosler's match-grade rifle ammo. Handgun accuracy through match-grade ammo. Available in 9mm, 40 and 45. Visit Nosler.com.
Be a more accurate and confident shooter. Get a Crimson Trace laser and light. If you're holding it, you're aiming it. That's called instinctive activation. Crimson Trace invented it. Get the best deal on Crimson Trace lasers and lights at OpticsPlanet.com. Optics Planet carries thousands of rifle scopes, red dot sights, holsters, safes, knives, apparel, and the full line of Crimson Trace lasers and lights at OpticsPlanet.com.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
We were talking a little bit earlier about what was going on in New York with the passage of the SAFE, S-A-F-E Act there, and New York is now, according to what we're seeing, issuing letters to people confiscating their guns because they're registered, of course, and now New York is saying, well, that gun holds too many rounds, even though it's not included in the law, but they're telling them to turn in their guns. A similar thing is going on out in California, where California has decided that prohibited person is whatever they want it to be. You know, federally, you are a prohibited person if you have a conviction for a felony or a misdemeanor domestic violence charge, a conviction. In California, they have decided that they're going to expand that greatly, and they are issuing confiscation orders and sending the police to pick up guns from people who have minor crimes, convictions, or things they just pleaded guilty to make it go away, and they're losing their gun rights according to California. Now, it's being challenged in court. The folks at Cal Guns and NRA out there tried to challenge it in the legislature, and it got slapped down because they've got the supermajority of Democrats in the legislature. But it's a mess. And I had an email from a guy who said, what can I do to help? I don't live in New York. What can I do? Well, there's the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. You can go online and look for that. Maybe send them a donation. Send them some money. It costs money to challenge these things. You can go online, go to CalGuns, CalGuns.net, or the Cal Guns Foundation. They're working real hard to fight this in California. It is absolutely true that these are our brothers and sisters in the constitutional battle for our gun rights. These are our co-workers, our warriors. These are the people who are out there fighting the fight. And if you're in a part of the country, as am I, where it's not happening to me, but it's happening to them, trust me, it's trying to get to you. They're using New York, they're using California, and if they don't get stopped there, it will go on and on. We'll see what's happening in Colorado, which, by the way, I might mention to you that Hudak, the one we were talking about, the state legislator, the state senator, who had a recall effort going against her, she resigned last week. They're recalling her because of her anti-gun vote. So what did she do? She resigned. The idea being that if she resigns, then the Democrats can put in another Democrat, and they don't have to have an election. It's evidently maybe not true. Maybe if they can get the recall done, they can still force an election. So stay tuned. If you're out in Colorado, don't think that this thing is over. Got to pay attention to what's going on there, okay? A lot of things going on, actually. Let's see. Let's go to Charlie on line 2 out of Washington State. Hello, Charlie.
Tom, I just wanted to tell you about a Christmas gift that I just paid for myself. Can't get it probably till the summer, but I just got my first suppressor.
Oh, that's probably going to be 9 to 12 months before you can get all the paperwork through and got it. But what caliber?
5.56.
5.56. You going to put it on an AR?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm doing an AR build, too.
Sweet. Okay. Suppressor is a great way to go. You will have so much fun. It'll be worth the wait. So good for you. Good for you in doing that. That's something that a lot of people may not have thought of. You can start now, and maybe it'll be ready by next Christmas. The feds are taking that long to process the paperwork. It is unconscionable. Talk about, Martin Luther King said a right delayed is a right denied. If they deny your right to get a suppressor or an NFA gun, is that not a denial of your constitutional Second Amendment rights? Of course it is. Speak up.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
All right, back with you here. Let's go straight to line 4. Russ has called us out of Oklahoma. Hello, Russ. What are you looking for here?
Hey, I got my son a TriggerCon last Christmas, and now he wants a single-shot 30-06 bolt-action single-shot 30-06. And I can't find one. I don't know who makes a single-shot 30-06. Obviously, he wants to mount the TriggerCon on it.
Okay, so what you've got is there are several different really nice 30-06 single shots being made, but not bolt actions. I mean, there are a couple target guns, but nobody really makes a bolt action single shot that doesn't have a box magazine unless it's for target work, bench rest, that kind of thing. Would he consider a regular single shot like a Ruger number 1 or a
That's what he said, a Ruger number 1, but I went on the internet and I couldn't see 30-06 listed.
Oh, it's got to be there. I mean, they've got to make the Ruger number 1 in 30-06. I mean, it's like, it has to be. So, tell you what, they make a lot of different Ruger number 1 models. Let me see if I can find you something. I got the light sporter, this sporter. I would just guarantee you there's a 30-06 in there somewhere. We just got to figure out which one it is, okay? But that would be, honestly, that would be my first choice, was the Ruger number 1. It is such a beautiful rifle. They're just great rifles. You know what? They may be in short supply. Look on the website, but beyond that, go to galleryofguns.com online, or Dury's website, D-U-R-Y-S, durysguns.com. Poke around. I guarantee you, if you do a little looking, you can find a Ruger number 1 in 30-06, and they are great rifles. They're beautiful. They come set up. If you buy a used one, ask if it comes with the ring, because it should come with rings already set up, because it's set up, but it has to have Ruger rings for it, okay, for the scope. But that Trijicon scope, I'm assuming you're talking about a regular rifle scope, not an ACOG.
Right.
Yeah, that Trijicon scope will work in any type of rings, probably 1 inch, but it could be 30 millimeter. I'm not sure what you have there.
He said they were bigger than the regular rings.
Okay, they're probably the 30 millimeter, but just have to check that out. But yeah, take a look at the Ruger number 1, okay? I wish you luck with it. Let me get Jason here real fast on line 1. Jason, I got a minute for you. Please go.
Hey, me and my fiance are looking for a gun that she can easily conceal, and she has really small hands.
Okay.
Like, I have a Glock 17, and that thing is way too big for her to hold properly to shoot.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. First of all, I'm going to suggest that rather than buy her a gun, you buy her some shooting lessons, because she needs to try several guns and see which ones are going to fit her hands. She may end up with something like a Smith & Wesson Shield, something that is a single stack. The Walther, PPX? So a new Walther is a very slim grip. But what she really needs to do, what I would suggest that you do, Jason, is get her hooked up with an instructor, get her a couple of private lessons, have the instructor bring several guns and have her try several different ones. Then she'll come out of it with a good idea of what she likes, and maybe even more important, what she doesn't like. At that point, then she can make an informed decision, and you can help her with that. But do yourself and do her a favor. Don't go out and buy her a gun thinking that you can choose the right gun for her. Generally, boyfriends and husbands shouldn't teach wives and girlfriends to play tennis, golf, or shoot. It can work, but often it doesn't. All right, as you think about the holiday season, think about giving a gun and the training and the safety that goes with it, okay? And if you do, shoot us a note. Go over on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk. Let us know what you're doing. Have a great week, and we will see you next time.